Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope you are hale and hearty by the grace of Almighty Allah. This is Rowshan Khandaker, English teacher, National Ideal English Version School. Today, I am welcome you to a Bangladesh and Global Studies class for class 5. Okay, so let's start our class without any further ado. This is today's date. Term is half yearly examination. Class is 5, subject Bangladesh and Global Studies, which is BGS. Topic is chapter 1 SQ, that means short question. Lecture number 3, homework number 3. This is my name and my mobile number. Okay, let's just start our class. Okay, so this is our today's topic. Chapter 1, our liberation war. We have actually discussed on this subject, on this chapter, each and every lessons. So now today we will start reading our exercises, or we will start studying our short questions. Okay, this type of question will come in your exam, upcoming exams, for a half yearly exams. And what is the first question? The first question is write 5 events that led up to the War of Liberation. Okay, what is the question? Well, write 5 events that led up to the War of Liberation. That means you have to write 5 important or significant events which actually works behind our liberation war. Okay, and let's see what is the answer here. Okay, the answer is, since the birth of Pakistan in 1947, the West Pakistani rulers tormented the East. In protest, a number of attempts of resistance took place. 5 of these events that led up to the liberation war are given below. Number 1 is language movement in 1952. So we have learned that in 1952 our language movement has held or happened. Okay, and the next one is 6-point program in 1966. That means 6-point program has been conducted in 1966. And number 3 is mass upsurge in 1969. Okay, this is the last movement before 1971. Okay, and what happened in the next one? Next event is Awami League's victory in general election in 1970. And number 5 is barbaric attacks by Pakistani forces met with protest and resistance. These are the events that led up to the beginning of the liberation war on 26th March 1971. So we have, in our previous classes, we have actually discussed these events too. Okay, we explained and we talked about a lot about this movement, like language movement, 6-point program, mass upsurge, Awami League's victory, which is held in 1970, barbaric attacks by Pakistani forces met with the protest and resistance. Okay, so after the barbaric attacks, actually our liberation war started. These 5 events has happened before our war of liberation. So let's move on to our next question, which is how many years is it since the war of liberation? That means how many years, or how what is the time period actually before the war of liberation happened? It is 51 years since the War of Liberation. It started on 26th March 1971 and lasted for 9 months. Okay, we have learned about it in our discussion classes. And we achieved victory through the surrender of the Pakistani forces on 16th December 1971. The War of Liberation is a glorious event in the history of Bangladesh. Okay, so this is our question SQ, question number 2. You have to write it in your CW copy and you have to learn it or memorize it. Okay, number 3 question is, what are the awards or titles for the freedom fighters? That means what titles, awards or honors the freedom fighters got after the liberation of war for their sacrifices. Okay, so what is the answer now? The answer is public recognition was given to those who made sacrifices for the war of liberation. The awards and titles for the freedom fighters are: number 1, Bir Shrestha. This is the, you have learned that this is the highest honor or award given to freedom fighters, okay, for sacrificing their lives too. And number 2 is Bir Uttam. Okay, so second highest honor or award is Bir Uttam. Third one is Bir Bikram, and the last one is Bir Pratik. Okay, so these 4 titles are given or awards are given to the who has actually sacrifices and who fought for the war of liberation and who were actually freedom fighters too. So my dear students, this is it for today. You have to write it in your CW copy and learn it at home, okay? And I hope you have enjoyed this class, and thanks for attending this class. See you in your next class. Allah Hafiz.